Så, välkomna! Då ska vi se, klockan är 4:30 och det är helt enkelt dags att köra igång med kvällens sessioner av International Education Days. Vi har ett ganska spännande program framför oss och först ut är Murdoch University i Dubai som kommer att få prata lite grann om sin skola, men framförallt om Dubai som en studiedestination. Och här för att göra det så har vi Mr. Bradley Farrow. Welcome, Bradley!
Hello, thank you.
Over to you. I'm just giving you an extremely short presentation and basically I'm going to hand it to you from here. And
fantastic.
Please do share the Dubai experience with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so a very good afternoon and thank you to everyone that's taken time out to join me for today's presentation, which is all about Murdoch University located in Dubai. And there's no better day for you to be joining us than today, as it is the UAE National Day here today. So we are celebrating, and what better time to find out about some of the amazing experiences that you can benefit from in Dubai. So over the next 20 minutes or so, I'll be covering everything that you need to know about what it's like to live in this fantastic city, and as well the array of opportunities that are available to you as students here at our fantastic university. But of course, I think one of the key questions that you as prospective students will have right now, of course, is related to this terrible COVID-19 that seems to have taken over everyone's lives over the last kind of 6 or 7 months or so. So I just want to give you a quick update and hopefully some reassurance to you about what is happening here in Dubai. And actually, we are, I guess, one of the more luckier countries right now in terms of life almost being back to some form of normality. Of course, there are safety precautions in place with social distancing and wearing masks and so on, but generally day-to-day life is very, very normal here in Dubai. So this is, potentially a fantastic option for you to consider, especially while other parts of the world are maybe not quite as safe right now. Dubai could be potentially an alternative choice that you might want to consider. And we've put a lot of measures in place at Murdoch University as well to ensure safety. Currently, our classes are online, but we are anticipating that we'll be going back to more face-to-face teaching in the early part of 2021. So again, if you are looking for that campus and face-to-face classroom experience, then Murdoch University could be a good option for you as well. So who is Murdoch University? So don't be fooled by my very British accent. Murdoch University is actually an Australian institution, and our main campus is located in Perth in Western Australia. We also have a campus in Singapore, and then the one in Dubai, which I'm joining you from today. So in terms of the experience that you get and the education that you receive, it is fully recognized as an authentic, accredited Australian degree. And when you finish your studies with us, the degree transcript or the certificate for the modules that you will have studied comes from the main campus in Australia. It doesn't actually say anywhere about Dubai. So when you're applying for those all-important jobs later on in your career, what you will have is very much that Australian degree, which is very highly regarded and recognized across the globe. So a great option for you there. And the campus in Dubai, it's a nice, small kind of community feel. So it can be quite daunting for students moving to university for the first time, and especially if you are studying abroad and moving to a different country. So Murdoch Dubai provides a very welcoming, friendly environment, very small students to academic ratio. So again, you feel very valued and you get a lot of exposure and contact with your teachers as well. So that would be a very smooth transition for you, depending on the stage of the education that you are at right now. And in terms of the kind of rankings of Murdoch University, we are actually quite a young university. We were formed back in the 1970s, but despite that, we have risen to be one of the top 100 young universities in the world. So any university that is under the age of 50 years old, Murdoch University is in the top 100 there. We also have a 5-star rating when it comes to that all-important starting salary for graduates and the educational experience. And I'll talk a little bit later on at the end of the presentation about the types of things that we're doing to support you as a student to go on into the future career and getting you where you want to be. These are the programs that we offer in Dubai. So just to give you a bit of background into the opportunities for you, it is a smaller mix of courses compared to the main campus. So if you are interested in any of these particular areas, I'll be happy to elaborate and talk more about these later on. But just to give you a sense of what it is possible to come and study abroad with us, these are the choices available. Okay, so the key kind of focus of today's presentation is talking about what it's like to actually live in Dubai. I think for many students, Dubai, it's not going to be your #1 choice. I'm sure many of you will have aspirations to go to the UK or maybe North America, possibly even Australia itself. And I think for a lot of students, Dubai is seen as very much a holiday destination, or certainly, somewhere for a tourist to go and visit. A lot of students that I speak to have been through the airport in Dubai. It's a very big connecting airport to other parts of the world, and many haven't actually been able to come and experience Dubai for themselves. So what I want to do now is just share with you a very short video, which will hopefully give you more of a taste of what it's like to live in our fantastic city. I can see that I tried to be fancy with the technology and embed it into my PowerPoint, but that seems to have stopped there. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen again, and hopefully you will be able to still see this. If there are any issues at all, just maybe let me know, but hopefully you'll be able to see and hear this video now. So this is a bit more about Dubai. Okay, so yeah, that's a little taste of Dubai. I apologize that there was no sound working there, but you can visit that video on YouTube and you'll be able to get the background noise there. But hopefully a few of the images there gave you a little bit of a taste of Dubai, and just a little bit more information about Dubai now as well. And Dubai is very much developed in recent years. I think if we went back 50 years, it was a very small kind of desert town, but today it's very vibrant, futuristic, modern city, which is home to people from over 200 different nationalities. So it's a very diverse, multicultural experience that you will have here in the Middle East. And I moved to Dubai just over 1 year ago, and I remember my friends kind of beforehand a bit confused as to why I wanted to move out to the desert. They didn't think there was too much here. They thought it was a very strict kind of country, but that's not the case at all here in Dubai, due to the vast array of different backgrounds of people that are coming over to live and work. And I think something like 90% of the population of Dubai is international. So you will make friends from all over the world. And I think when, again, you're applying for those jobs later on in your career, to say that you've immersed yourself in such a cross-cultural environment, developing those communication skills with different nationalities, that's definitely going to help you stand out when you're applying for those all-important jobs. And you can see from the images here just how kind of modern Dubai is. On one side, it's surrounded by the beautiful Arabian desert. On the other, it's beautiful beaches out into the Arabian Gulf. And it's something to do for everyone here in terms of different cuisines and shopping, activities with friends. We have year-round sunshine as well. So although it's December, here today it's been a beautiful day of around 27 or 28 degrees in the sunshine. So definitely not missing the cold weather back in the UK myself. So we encourage students to come and really immerse themselves in this fantastic city, and you can really get some amazing opportunities from doing that. So why would you maybe consider Murdoch University as an option to study abroad? Well, we have different intakes throughout the year, so we're very flexible in terms of when you start. So the next intake is coming up in January. So for any students that are maybe looking to come and study with us in January, that's definitely an option. And in terms of getting a visa to come and study at the university, it's a lot more straightforward than perhaps other destinations that you might be considering. So for students wanting to go to America or Australia, even the UK, there is strict kind of criteria that you have to satisfy to get the visa. Things like providing your bank statements and so on, financial documents, whereas that's not the case here at all. And it's a very relaxed system, very straightforward, and we can almost guarantee that you'll get that visa to come and study. For students that are maybe looking to actually come and do their full degree program with us, so maybe you're looking to study the entire undergraduate program, there's another exciting option where you can actually transfer over to Australia partway through the program. And I'll talk more in detail about that later on. But again, right now, whilst Australia remains very much shut off for international students, I think the borders are currently closed. Rather than waiting and delaying maybe going to Australia, why not start much closer to home in Dubai? It's a little bit more affordable, believe it or not, in Dubai in terms of the tuition fees and so on. And then when it is safe and when you are ready, you could then make that transfer to the main campus in Australia. The UAE is also a very safe country. So if there are any parents that are joining today, obviously safety is a primary concern. So here in the Middle East and UAE specifically, it's actually the second safest country in the world. Bonus points for anyone that can tell me what the #1 safest country is. And one other important aspect is the opportunity for you to work while you're studying. So again, we have a bit more flexibility in Dubai. Other parts of the world, you'll be limited to the number of hours that you can work part-time during your studies. In Dubai, that doesn't exist. So of course, we're not encouraging you to go and get a full-time job whilst you're studying, because you still have work to do, but you certainly have a bit more freedom to gain extra financial support, perhaps from a job or experience from working in a particular industry. So that's something that is very well regarded for our students. And that theme of flexibility continues into the way you study. So any of those programs I showed earlier that you are interested in, you can also do a double major. So you can combine 2 different subject areas. And in most cases, that's not going to cost you any extra money or take any extra time. We're just giving you the freedom there to kind of broaden your knowledge. And actually, the UAE was voted the #1 destination to study abroad earlier this year. I think it overtook Malaysia as the #1 spot. So what better endorsement than being voted #1 for coming to study abroad. And of course, as we've said, you get that Australian accredited degree at the end of your program. And of course, it is very much a central hub here in the UAE as well. You can get to any part of the world very, very quickly through the airport there. So a lot of students that are looking to travel and experience other parts of the world, why not? Fantastic opportunity to do that here in the UAE. Another big thing going at the moment for Murdoch University is that we have just moved to a brand new campus here in Dubai. So if anyone that's joining today has actually visited Dubai in the past, we are now located in an area called Knowledge Village, which is a fantastic central location here in Dubai. It's just 10 minutes from the Dubai Marina, where there is a lot to do for students. And of course, it's a very modern, state-of-the-art campus. We're just ready now to fill it up with lots of students. So we would love to welcome you from Sweden to come and experience this kind of fantastic new collaborative space that we have available for you to take advantage We have different entry points as well. So again, I'm not too sure where each of you are joining from today in terms of the stage of your education. But if you are looking to come and study your full degree with us, if you're looking to just do a study abroad for 1 trimester and transfer the credits back home to your institution that you're studying at the moment, then that is absolutely fine as well. In terms of the entry requirements, I won't dwell on this for too long. You can access this on our website, but I've included for you here the international kind of qualifications and those in Sweden as well. So if you are looking to come in and enter our undergraduate degree, this is what you would need to be achieving. And if you're looking to do the study abroad experience, there isn't any specific entry requirements there. It's just a case of having that agreement with maybe your home institution and agreeing the transfer of the credits for the time that you actually study with us. I'm not sure if anyone's interested in postgraduate programs today as well, but I've included the entry requirements for these courses as well. Most cases we're looking for kind of relevant work experience, but there are alternative options available. If you don't have the work experience and you're just coming out of university, then we may be able to consider you for one of our pathways, which are the graduate certificate options that you can see on the screen there as well. Of course, finances is a big question, and I'm sure many of you will be asking about the opportunity of getting a scholarship. So we do offer scholarships that range between 15 and 40% of our tuition fees. And what's fantastic news for you guys joining today, we just had an announcement literally yesterday that we are reducing all of our tuition fees for the 2021 intake onwards. So not only will it be a lot more affordable, but there are then the scholarships that you can acquire to help with the cost of studying there as well. We have other kind of discounts available, like early bird, for example. So if you are keen to find out more and you want to submit an application, you can just let me know. I'll provide my details at the end and we can make sure that all of those additional discounts are applied for you as well. So I mentioned that I wanted to talk about the careers engagement side of things. A question that I'm always asked by students is, will I be guaranteed a job at the end of my studies? Can I 100% get somewhere to work? And of course, we can't guarantee that 100%, but what we will do is invest a lot of time and energy to get you where you want to be. So all of our programs have an embedded careers learning spine to them. So you'll be getting a range of support in terms of employability skills, things like even just writing a job application or building a CV, all the way through to interview techniques or using LinkedIn as an effective networking tool. We want to give you all of these skills necessary to go out and be successful in the real world, so to speak. And we have a brand new careers platform as well, where we're connecting students with actual employers that are looking for jobs. So they can come onto our platform and search students, that are studying particular programs. And likewise, you can do that for different industries. And when it's safe to do so, we'll be resuming with all of the different kind of industry panels and networking events that we host at our campus, again, so that you can make those key contacts for later on after you finish your studies. Because in a lot of cases, it isn't just what you know, it's definitely who you know in the world as well that can help potentially connect you to those all important jobs. So the final thing that I want to talk about just before I finish and open up for any specific questions was the opportunity to transfer to our main campus partway through the program. And as we said, what better time to do that now, where Dubai is a little bit more opened up and back to normal. And then when it's safe and Australia reopens its borders, you can then make the transfer. So potentially, after your first year or after your first trimester, if you are looking to do that, then that's something you can take advantage of. And of course, if you are looking to study abroad as well, you could do potentially a semester with us and maybe a semester at the home campus in Australia as well. It's a very straightforward process in terms of doing that. You just have to notify us on your application form. And what will happen is your application will then undergo the necessary screening for the Australian visa. So I mentioned earlier on, it's sometimes a bit more difficult to get that visa secured for Australia. So what we will do is we will undertake the screening by the Australian immigration authorities, at the point of your application, so you have that peace of mind and reassurance that you can then transfer to Australia when you're ready to do so. And again, we have some fantastic scholarships for students that are looking to do this, depending on the length of time that you study in Dubai. And then there is a welcome scholarship worth up to 12,000 Australian dollars for international students moving into Australia. Of course, if you're interested in studying in Singapore as well, another exciting option, we have the campus there. So the mobility between all of the options is there and available to you. And I think, you know, when you graduate, to say that you've lived and studied potentially in such an international city like Dubai, as well as Singapore, and then Perth in Australia as well, that's definitely going to help you stand out over competitors for job applications. So I said I'd talk for around 20 minutes. I think my time is around up. These are our direct contact details. So anyone that wants to kind of reach out or find out more, you can make a note of the contact information on your screen right now. And, you know, I'll be happy to help anyone. But I also want the opportunity for you guys to ask questions now. Of course, this session is for you today. I can talk all day about Dubai and how amazing it is to live here. So I just wanted to see now whether there were any specific questions that I could address. I'll be happy to share my experience of what it's like to live here and of course, potentially study at Murdoch Dubai. So thank you for listening. And yeah, I'll start addressing some questions. So I can see a couple that have come in already. And I think, yeah, one of the key questions is kind of related to living costs and expenses. And definitely something that I was wary of before I came out here. I'd heard how kind of glamorous and luxurious Dubai was, and you know, how expensive potentially it would be. But actually, as someone that's moved over from London in the United Kingdom, I'd say it's very similar to somewhere like London, if not even slightly more affordable. And at the moment, what we're seeing in terms of like the cost of rent and that type of thing, they're building a lot of properties, but not necessarily filling all of them at the same rate. So what that's doing is driving the rent prices down. So in terms of, yeah, month to month, it's affordable. It can be expensive if you do, you know, live the life of luxury and go out for dinner and things every night. But there's also a lot of kind of discounts and offers. So if you take advantage of those whilst you're here, for example, there is an app called The Entertainer, where in a lot of places you'll get 2 for 1 on your dinners and shopping and so on. So if you're clever, I think actually the living costs aren't too bad. And just before I jumped on the call today, I happened to be reading an article, I think, on that popped up on my news feed, and it was about living costs. And actually, there's quite a few other cities in the world that are more expensive than Dubai. I think Hong Kong was the number 1. Singapore, parts of China, New York, London, and so on were all you know, more expensive than what it would actually be here in Dubai. In terms of weather, yeah, good question. So I think I mentioned in the presentation, it is year-round sunshine. I can't actually remember the last time that I saw any rain here in Dubai, but very nice. As I said, it's December now, and the weather today was around 27, 28 degrees. It can get very hot in the summertime. So, you know, for anyone that's looking to maybe do a study abroad experience, certainly the January or September intakes would be a good option as opposed to May. But if you don't mind the very hot weather, I think in the heat of summer, it can reach kind of 40 degrees, 45 degrees at a push. So yeah, very, very warm. Something that I had to get used to very quickly as a blonde, fair-haired, fair-skinned person. You know, it's important to kind of protect yourself out here for sure. Is it hard to find an apartment? No, there are lots of opportunities and options available. There are dedicated websites where you can search for apartments. There are also particular providers of accommodation that we are partnered with at the university. So if you want to stay in university accommodation with fellow university students, then you can do that as well. And that's sometimes a bit more convenient because it allows you to make, you know, other friends, and all of your bills will be kind of included in the price of the accommodation. But as I said, I think possibly looking to rent privately is a good option as well at the moment, because the cost is dropping as we said. Another good question here: are there any other Swedes at the university? So actually, Interesting question. This is my first event that I've done specifically for students in Sweden, and we are looking to diversify our student portfolio. So at the moment, to my knowledge, we don't have anyone else from specifically in Sweden that is studying, but hopefully that will all change very soon following today's presentation. But in terms of where the students come from, it is very, very diverse. I think we have every continent represented in the world at the campus, apart from Antarctica, if we include that. But otherwise, yeah, very well represented. Of course, you know, a lot of students from the South Asia region, but I often travel to Europe to do events, and we get European students and South Americans, even students from Australia that are looking to come and experience the Dubai lifestyle for a short period of time. And that's the same for our faculty as well. So the faculty is coming from all over the world. I think I was looking at the most recent list, and there was you know, academics from the UK, I think Brazil, Malaysia, Australia, other parts of Europe. So yeah, that's really the key message, and the whole experience that you have here in Dubai just is very, very diverse, and that's something that you'll experience from day one when you actually move over to the city. So yeah, any other questions there at all? Thank you for those questions there about living costs and the weather and fellow students. Yeah, so can students work part-time? Absolutely. So one of the key benefits that I was talking about earlier is the flexibility that students have to work part-time. If you were in the UK or Australia, you would be limited to normally 20 hours per week of part-time work. In Dubai, there isn't a specific limit with the visa that you study on. So you do get more freedom to work, and obviously that brings financial support and also good work experience that you can add to your CV. And that's something that we will help you find through our careers portal. We'll be able to assist you in terms of finding these internships and part-time work, and of course the full-time opportunities afterwards if you're looking to stay back and work here in Dubai. So yeah, thanks for that question. Is it difficult to adapt when it comes to society norms? That's a really good question. Thanks, Nadia. And that's certainly something that I was concerned about before moving here. I'd done a few events here in the Middle East, but I think because Dubai is, as I said, such an international city, 90% of the population here, people from all around the world. So it is very easy to adjust. I would say it's definitely more of a kind of Western culture specifically in Dubai. But then you have 6 other fantastic Emirates here in the United Arab Emirates that you can go and explore. And that's something that I've very much enjoyed doing since I moved here, to experience the kind of local traditions of the Emiratis. And there's some fantastic places to go and visit out in the desert and hiking and so on, where you can experience the more natural side of the UAE, because of course Dubai is a very built up and modern city. So it's great to kind of experience you know, the best of both worlds almost, but absolutely not. In terms of settling in, I'd say as someone that's traveled a lot, you know, extensively for work in my previous jobs as well, Dubai is definitely one of the most welcoming and friendly places. And, you know, as someone that came here and didn't know a single person here, I've been here just over 1 year now and have many friends from all parts of the world. And so, yeah, it will be very straightforward and nothing to kind of worry about at all, I would say. Okay, I think we have around 2 minutes left before the next presentation. I think you've got a fantastic program lined up for the rest of today. So perhaps I'll hand back over now to our colleagues at Study International. And thank you once again for hosting me today. And please take a note of the contact information on the screen there, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Or of course, our trusted partner there in Sweden, Study International, will be able to assist you as well. But thank you very much, and I'll hand back over now.
Well, great. Thank you so much. That was really, really interesting. And I'm glad to see there was some interaction. A lot of students had questions, so that's good. If anyone's more interested in studying in Dubai or at Murdoch University, please let me know, and I'll be happy to provide more information and help you with the application if we get to that point. So thank you very much.